Really.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining me today on this platform that we've got. I thought perhaps a nice way to start so that the people who are watching the video could know a little bit about you is just a couple of sentences, real brief about you, and then we're going to get cracking into what it is that you've got to share for us today.
Oh, great. Thanks, Laura. My name is Lisa. I live in Auckland, New Zealand, but as you can tell from my accent, it's very North American.
Very true, very true. Hey, so just so you understand, the idea behind this platform is at the moment we're focusing on COVID-19 or coronavirus and just how it's impacting on people. And it's impacting on people in different ways. So some people are not fazed by it, she'll be right attitude, it's not going to affect me. And other people have a sense of impending doom about it, you know, that their days are numbered, that they're going to die tomorrow. And then anywhere in between. You know, we've got panic buying and we've got other people who are still going to the gym and touching everything and not washing their hands. So we've got quite a wide range of responses happening at the moment in New Zealand. And I just wondered if you'd like to offer us your take on, you know, maybe your experiences or what it is that you've been going through or you've seen other people going through.
Sure. Well, for myself, I can only control what I can control. So I'm just managing myself, trying to be safe, making sure that I isolate myself if I need to, keep my hands clean. Very hard for me to not put my hands on my face.
Yeah.
So I got to wash a lot. That's
Yeah.
just who I am and what I do. I'm a healthcare provider in some ways too, and I put my hands on people quite often. So I have to make sure that I can manage that as well. So it definitely plays a part in what I do for a living. But at the same time, I'm not scared by it as long as I can manage myself and my own emotions.
Mm. And how do you feel, if you want to talk to this, how do you feel New Zealand is doing currently?
In regards to,
How we're managing it, how we're managing
oh,
ourselves.
I think we're doing a pretty good job. I
Mm.
think Kiwis in general are pretty sturdy kind of people. Um, they listen. I think I haven't really had too many people, just say, I want to do this. I'm not going to wash my hands. I'm not going to take care of myself. I think there's not as much panic buying as there is in America. It seems the stores are pretty still stocked, but there are places. It's interesting that what isn't stocked. Amazing what people want and what they don't want. But
Yeah.
but I'm really appreciative of walking into a store and not having people having their carts filled with stuff.
Mm.
So that makes me feel good.
Mm. I actually went into Countdown the other day, and I think just about all the nuts and raisins and chips and everything had all been pillaged, but there was fully stocked gluten-free shelves, fully stocked organic shelves, fully stocked anything that's kind of healthy for your shelves. And I went, isn't that a sign of the times, right? That
Yeah.
so many people are still in this day and age still picking options that are, you know, they could be picking organic options, they could be picking healthy options, but they're like, oh no, we'll just go with all these other options that we know first because everything is so unfamiliar with us right now. We're just going to stick with what is familiar. We don't want to go with something that's gluten free because we don't know how that tastes. You know, we haven't ventured into that realm of gluten free and fancy different foods.
That's right. I think when people get scared, they go back into their default, whatever that is, and whatever makes them feel good. Because you got to have something that makes you feel good. Otherwise, you're just going to get scared all the time, and that's not good. That's not a great way to live.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's true what you say about reverting back to what is familiar because I think for so long we've been just trucking along and everything is fine. We're all in that rat race, we're all on that treadmill, you know, that hamster wheel, and we don't always like it. And sometimes it's too busy and it's too stressful for us. And now we've all been spat off it. Now we're just like, we're like landed on the floor next door to it. We're like, hang on, we just want to get back on that treadmill, you know, like that's what we knew, you know, we don't know how to not be on the treadmill. How we, you know, there's so many people who just are not comfortable with spending time in their own space.
Yeah, and I think there's a good side that people aren't even paying attention to. That instead of the doom and gloom or the bad politics or the the people who are trying to say that the PM is not doing what they're supposed to be doing and blah, 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 blah. But if you look at what's really happening out there, people are spending time at home.
Mm.
They're slowing down. They're taking care of their families. Um, there's less carbon emission from the airplanes. The world is getting better. There's so many positives in this space that I think we just need to stay there. It's
Mm.
really easy to go down the rabbit hole of fear versus looking at, okay, well, there has to be an upside to this. Um, I think in all of the world, there's always the way Mother Nature works. It always seems to come out positive for us, and I think we just need to manage that. I don't think we've done what the movies show us all the time. Everyone's seeing those crazy movies about apocalypse and zombies and all that kind of stuff. And
Mm.
yeah, it's easy to go there, but I think Mother Nature always manages to take care of us.
Yeah. And I think that also comes in line with having a positive mindset.
Mm,
And we have this I was talking on a video earlier where we have this opportunity to decide whether or not we're going to uh, fight this, or whether we're going to just try and run it and hide from this, or whether we're just going to freeze and not do anything, just stay where we are, or whether we're just going to get an absolute fright about this and panic and stress out. We have all these, sympathetic nervous system reactions that are currently happening to different levels. And we have the peaks of some really highs where we think that everything's going to be fine. And then we have these massive as troughs where we're going, oh no, wait, maybe it's not. This is real, like our numbers have just increased, and it's about feeling almost empowered as opposed to victimized, to say that we've actually got this opportunity now to decide who it is that we want to be and how it is that we want to be.
yeah, there's a difference between reacting and being proactive. And when you react, you don't think, you act. And it could be
Mm.
the wrong thing to act or say or do, versus stop, think what you want to do, and then be proactive in how you want to manage it.
Mm, absolutely. So I wondered if you had any advice for, say, somebody who was incredibly anxious around this right now, who was perhaps being by themselves, or perhaps they've been, had to self-isolate, or they're just in a situation where they're feeling incredibly overwhelmed. What would you suggest that they were to do?
Well, the only thing I can say is what I do, which is get the facts. Like, make sure you have the right resources. Make sure you have the right people telling you the things that you need to know. Like, don't don't read all the hype out there because there's so much false news. Stay with your Ministry of Health. Stay with your PM. Um, Make sure you have that validation of the things that you're knowing. Uh, and then reach out. There's lots of people who can help. And I think we tend to hibernate versus reaching out. And I think when you reach out, just like what we're doing right here, we're just having this conversation about, people don't want to be vulnerable. People don't want to talk about what's really happening. And also people in your house may not want to hear what you're feeling. So there's people outside, your friends, your neighbors, just having that conversation might just, give you some peace of mind. And I think that's really, really the heart of it is you just need to have some peace of mind, and don't let the naysayers, or don't let the false news take over.
Yeah, exactly. Because there might be quite a few people who are in that space, like you said, when your family may not necessarily want to actually hear anything you have to say. You may not want to let your family hear anything that you are feeling, because if you are the breadwinner, or you are a single parent and you've got your troop of kids with you, and you're a casual somewhere, there's nothing for you right now. You are losing everything. You are in that position where you do not have support unless you're going through work and income, whatever other pathways are available. But you may not actually want them to know that you are petrified of what's going to happen. You may not be petrified about the actual virus so much as, what are the economic ramifications for me? What are my financial implications? How will I put gas in my car? How will I put food on my table? You know, and so
Right. No, go ahead. Sorry.
having a forum like this, I believe, and this is what I'm so passionate about, and thank you again so much for coming on board with this, is that this forum is for those people who are doing this also by themselves,
Mm.
and not only for them, of course, but for somebody who just actually wants to be like, oh my gosh, these two ladies just had a chat today, and it's just made me feel that it's going to be okay, that it will come right, that something will happen, something good will come out of this.
Yeah, I think the best part about these forums is sometimes, when you listen to other people and their stories and how they do things resonate with you, and that gives you the ability to do something. And it just might take that one person that you don't even know that can say something that will resonate with you. And you go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I want. That's
Mm,
exactly what I can do. And, you know, um, I have a friend who's by herself and just moved into a new place. A lot of money just left her, bank account, because how much it costs to move in and
mm,
bond and all that other stuff. And just had her job, one of her days of her job, um, slashed off because they can't afford it anymore. So now she's 20% less of her income. And
mm.
it's like, okay, well, let me help you. Let me, I've offered, come to the house, come eat. Don't let your pride get in the way. Um,
Yeah,
just come.
yeah,
Just even though it's self isolation, at some point there's a space in between. You know what I mean? Like, you can only be isolated so much. If it's going to be a detriment to you, you got to do something different.
yeah, absolutely. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to step into that, helping somebody else other than ourselves and our friends and our immediate family. This, you can have far-reaching consequences just by doing something different for somebody else. Not
Yeah.
taking a trolley load full of bread, but actually leaving some bread for other people, for example. Not taking all the hand sanitizer, because I tell you what, it doesn't matter how much you hand sanitize, if other people aren't hand sanitizing as well, there's spread happening. It's just like, it's just like, it's being aware of, this is not only about you as a person, it's about everybody, and it's not only about us within North Island or South Island or within New Zealand, it's us in relation to Australia and to the UK and to Europe and to America and Japan and somewhere, like every other place. It's us in relation to everybody. If we don't do our bit to help where we can, then we really have to question what role we're playing.
Yeah.
I just think that's something I've just been pondering.
Have you noticed that, like, for the first time, have you noticed that there hasn't been a lot of blame?
There
Like
hasn't.
you listening to the world, and there's blame about this and that, and this country's doing this and blah, blah, blah. But there
Hmm.
hasn't been much blame throwing around. And I think that's a start. It's out of your head. It's that whole us versus them is kind of, you don't hear about it. And that's maybe that's a good step forward.
Hmm. I totally agree. I mean, I think what happens is that possibly, and I could be wrong, but when you've got one country that does something and one country that doesn't like what they're doing, then there's going to be like a skirmish, and then people like roar, take sides, right? Or sit on the fence. But with this, I mean, this is global. This is affecting each and every single one of us, more so than potentially, I mean, I don't mean to be flippant here, but if you think about a world war, yes, it affects everybody, but it's not happening in your backyard necessarily, especially not here in New Zealand. It's happening over there. The Gulf
Hmm.
War, it's happening over there. You know, whichever kind of war is happening over there, we don't have to worry about it. Because we're fine. However, as soon as it creeps into your own house and into your own backyard, suddenly you're like, oh, you know, this is real. This is serious. And then you
Yeah.
start to think about your own survival.
Yeah, and it can't be us versus them, because it won't work. And
Yeah,
I
because
think, Democrats, Republicans, Labor, Nationals, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all the same. We all have the same needs. It doesn't matter where you're from. We all need to support each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And imagine what good could actually come out of this. What if, I always think back, with those beauty pageants that I don't know if they still have them, but I remember when I was growing up, we always used to watch them every now and then. And they would always be like wanting world peace. None of them said we want to have a massive pandemic and so that we can get world peace, but they always wanted world peace. And what if
Mm.
this pandemic is actually something that gets us to put aside those differences that we've got and put aside those judgments and actually somehow gets us all working together and,
Yeah.
and building each other up instead of trying to break each other down and then stand on their ruins so that we can get up higher.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother today. He was talking exactly that. He's a stress monger himself, but for some particular reason, he's just mellowed out. And I think because he doesn't have to work as hard, he goes home, gets to be with his kids. He doesn't have to worry about taking them here and there and everywhere. He just gets to spend time with them.
Mm,
Um, he gets to go out for walks that he never was able to do. And so instead of being this high stress place, he's dropped dramatically. And we had the best conversation today. We haven't had that kind of a conversation in a long, long time, just about chilling and smiling and laughing at each other. And,
mm.
and, yeah, there's stuff going on, but, get to connect again. It's like he was saying, when's the last time I talked to you? I even got to videotape you, um,
Lord.
video record us. I'm like, I know. How crazy is that?
You see, so in a way, it's bringing you guys closer together. It's giving you that opportunity to reconnect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've reached out to people, my friends in Hawaii, and and my family in San Francisco, and you just have opportunity to speak, to talk, to have fun, to
Mm,
laugh. Gotta laugh.
absolutely. And I
That's,
think
that's
that, as soon as you can't do something, then we kind of go, oh, we've got to do it. So
mm,
now we can't go out necessarily as much and go and, visit with our friends and go and do our sport and go and, meet up socially with people. We've been advised to not do that as much. And obviously we've got regulations that have come in to say that we can and can't do certain things. But now we're going, oh, now what? you know, So a lot of us are probably going, well, we don't want to spend time thinking about, in our own heads. We need to go and do something else. Oh, I know. What we'll do is I'll contact my sister who I
yeah,
never speak to anymore, or I'm going to just find out how dad is, or how my auntie Jane is in whichever part of the world. And so that's got to be a good thing, right?
I know. I was so excited to think that I could have 14 days at my house to clean my room and to sort out my stuff and, you know, get on top of things that I haven't been able to get on top of. And, you know, we'll manage. The world will manage, and it might be a little bit of a hardship or more of a hardship for others. I'm
Mm,
really in a lucky place. So, I thank God for that. But,
mm,
um, but 2-3 months I wouldn't be. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you got to take it all in stride, but hopefully people will rally around each other. And
yeah.
I guess that's what we're hoping for, huh?
That is absolutely what we're hoping for. And hopefully coming to watch these kind of, videos as well, aiming to just try and help people as much as possible. Because I've got a tagline which says, together we are strong.
Yeah, very
If we're
true.
if we're if we're in this together and we're supporting each other together, then surely we have to make it through.
Well, like I said, I support you in this. I think this is, who knows what'll come of this, but I support
Mhm.
what you're doing, and I think it's important to have a place to speak out. And if I think you're opening this up to people all over the world if that's what they want to do. And
Mm.
if you feel like after seeing this, if you feel like you're interested in doing this, Laura's ready for you.
I've got time.
Don't we all?
Yeah,
We got it. I know there's lots of people out there that have lots of good things that they're doing, but why not have a big form of videos that you can just kind of peruse through and
absolutely.
have fun, laugh.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be more of a jokey kind of thing. I don't know, instead of
Hey,
doom and gloom.
anybody. I mean, I'm welcoming anybody who's got any take on this. There are some people who I have never seen them post up that many Facebook memes in my life. I saw a coronavirus version of Where's Wally? Have you seen
Oh
that on
yeah, that was
Facebook?
funny.
Oh my gosh. I was having like a bit of a down day, and I read that and I found myself just cracking up laughing and just going, there are some geniuses out there who can think about this stuff so quickly and who are actually helping people. They're raising our energies, they're raising our vibrations, they're helping us to get to a point where we think, what, maybe we can do this. We're building up our resilience, we're in this together. So
Yeah.
yeah, so just in closing, and firstly I just want to say thank you so much again, Lisa, for coming along on this forum to help whoever it is that needs some help. Did you have a takeaway message or anything that you'd like to leave the viewers with?
Ask for help if you need it. Don't sit in your space. Ask for help, because there's lots of people that are willing to help. And don't take it all so seriously. Make sure you laugh. You gotta laugh. You
Yeah.
absolutely have to laugh.
Even if you're the only one laughing, right?
That's right. Some of those, I was watching this video about this father. He had all these rolls of toilet paper, and he was counting up. He was adding up how many squares there were, and then he said, if you use an average of I can't remember what it was, but he ended up saying that of all the rolls that he had, to use it, you would have had to take up 818 poos in one day.
To get through all of them. Oh, brilliant.
Instead of hoarding, just ration your squares.
Yeah. 4 squares for you, 2 for you because you're smaller. Yeah. Anyway. Hey, thank you so much, Lisa. I really do appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Well
thanks
done.
so much.